We'll see if I'm on the medal stand at the end of the broadcast as the high school football season is underway. A short kickoff fielded by North Laurel and into the open space. A quick start for the Jaguars. Down the sideline, that's Justin Brummett. Check it, Matt Sizemore, 22, taking it all the way to the house for the touchdown.
Oh, man.
Thought it was a 27, it was a 22, and what a start for North Laurel, taking the opening kickoff of the high school sports season back for a touchdown.
See the emotion there, great blocking, and Sizemore just found a huge hole. You take a look here at the replay, Tanner, you're going to see Sizemore get it, and nobody really gets close to him. I don't think anyone ever touched him. And he'll get it into the end zone quickly here for North Laurel. And, of course, early in the year, Tanner, always a problem, special teams. You just have difficulty getting in the work. This time the kickoff team for South Laurel fails to keep that lane integrity. Touchdown, North Laurel.
Cole Stinger on for the extra point. He's a senior kicking in his first football game. Was a soccer player they recruited to come kick for them, and that extra point is no good. But nevertheless, Jim, we've played 34 seconds in this game, and it's 6-0 North Laurel. We talked about South being the team that wanted a fast start, but it's North cracking the scoreboard early.
Yeah, it's always difficult, Tanner. You just have so many things going on with these teams early in the year, and certainly you're looking to install the offense. You talked about how Coach Larkey had done some different things offensively in the preseason scrimmages getting ready, but you install the offense, you install the defense, but you always wonder in special teams, have we gotten enough work in there? And usually at the first of the year, no matter what level of football you're playing, the coach always concerned about special teams. And I think over the course of certainly the last 20, 30 years, we've seen special teams make a huge impact in games at all levels of football.
The two Jareds, Jared Grubb and Jared Lovins, back deep for South Laurel. And Stinger will kick it away for the Jags in their 8th year under head coach Chris Larkey. Mentioned he guided them to the best season in school history last year. Jaguars trying to win their 6th in a row versus South Laurel here in this crosstown rivalry. Boy, what great athletic traditions at both schools, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. And now for South, want to see if they can get some good field position, try to keep the ball out of the hands of this potent North Laurel attack.
That's a live ball, and North Laurel appears to have it.
They do.
They do. What a start for the Jaguars. They run the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, and then they recover that kick and will have it in South Laurel territory, and that time it was Justin Brummett who came up with the recovery.
I tell you, the 22s, 27s making some big plays here early, and Coach Chris Larkey has his guys fired up, and this, of course, the nightmare start that Coach Burdine didn't want to see, and look at those big guys up front. That's going to be a particular emphasis for me this year, Tanner, to just look at how those big guys can clear the holes, and you'll see quarterback Cole McWhorter, number 10, trying to get these guys going.
The junior, Coach Chris Larkey saying he's gotten faster, more accurate, more aware in the offseason. They're still going to run the ball most of the time, but he has faith if they need to air it out of putting the ball in McWhorter's hands. And a penalty flag comes in. This could be a delay of game.
Pretty much has to be, coming from the back judge there.
So back them up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15 for North Laurel. By the way, your referee tonight, Mike Ashurst, umpire Kyle Adams, head linesman Don White, line judge Tackett Wilson, and back judge Jimmy Mills, a fine officiating crew tonight here in London, Kentucky.
See what they do here on first down. May see a few wrinkles from the Jags here.
Up the middle, a good burst of speed. Picking up the penalty yards, plus about 5 more is Jose Rodriguez, the junior. Speed back. You like going with the speed early as opposed to the power?
Well, you You got those big guys up front to create some holes, get that movement going, and Rodriguez got it to the second level basically before he was touched, putting a lot of pressure on that linebacking core from South Laurel. They need to make some big plays here.
Call it a gain of 10, 2nd and 5, and another run straight up the middle. Picking up a couple of yards is Rodriguez. It'll be 3rd down and short for the Jags. North Laurel's strength, no doubt, Jim, is in the trenches. Their line combined offensively weighs more than 1,500 pounds. Of course, a lot of those guys play both ways and play on the defensive line. So this is a game South Laurel coach Donnie Burdine admits will be tough for his team to win on the line of scrimmage. Early test here on 3rd and short. It's a bootleg. McCorder around the edge will be brought down short of the 1st down as flags come in. Grubb made the stop. 2 flags flew in. We'll have to see what those penalties are all about. A big call coming up here. It's a hold against North.
It looked like one of the guys on the offensive line there, South, with an excellent job defensively there. They sent the guys on the run blitz, and Grubb, we've seen him with some great speed, not only offensively but defensively here as he hustles, makes the stop, and then they will accept this penalty. It would have been 4th and short. I like the call by Coach Burdine here. Still will be 3rd down, but I think he's wanting to try to turn this game around with some big plays defensively here. Wouldn't be surprised to see an all-out blitz coming from the black shirts of the Cardinals.
3rd and 15. Jags need to get down to the 27-yard line to move the chains.
Here's that shotgun you talked about.
South showing blitz. And a penalty flag comes in. This is going to be offsides. It looked like Austin Eaton may have jumped.
Went with that hard count there. McWhorter able to get the play.
Prior to the snap, number 24 on the defense, enter the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
First penalty of the game on South Laurel. North Laurel's been hit with 2 penalties so far. Had that delay of game and then a holding penalty. 3rd and 15 becomes 3rd and 10. A little bit more manageable here, Jim. You can open up the playbook a bit more.
Certainly can. Of course, I believe this will be 4-down territory for those guys. So, once again, they'll put McWhorter back there in the gun. You got to believe that the Cardinals are coming.
McWhorter scrambling, running out of real estate, and he dumps it out of bounds. 4th down coming up in decision time for Chris Larkey.
Looks like, well, I guess they'll go ahead and punt this one, try to pin South Laurel down deep, but that was a great defensive stand here by the Cardinals. Let's see.
Well, the defense passes the early test, Jim. You're in South Laurel, you give up the kickoff return touchdown, and then you fail to recover the onside kick. Give North Laurel great field position, and it appears as though the Cards will get the ball back. They have nobody deep to field this presumed punt. 4th and 10, always have to be wary of the fake. And punting it away is McWhorter. Off the side of his foot, it'll roll out of bounds at about the 25-yard line of South Laurel, and we'll get our first look at the Cardinal offense, directed by Bailey Foltz. Much like his counterpart in this game, Cole McWhorter, Bailey is a junior, 5'10", 183. Jimmy lost 20 pounds in the offseason. Much more nimble. Coach Donnie Burdine saying the quarterback position has gone from one of the weakest on the team to one of the strongest because of the strides Foltz has made in the offseason.
Wow, you know, you talk about losing weight and getting nimble. Your man Brandon Robinson losing some weight and getting nimble as well. So I guess that's in vogue here. Summertime. See what South Laurel can draw up here to get Coach Burdine and his guys some first downs.
Whitaker, the man in motion, handoff up the middle to Matt Harp. Swallowed up after a gain of maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. Harp actually added 30 pounds in the offseason. Talk about Foltz losing 20. Harp found those and 10 more. really bulked up, and he's turned into the downhill physical runner that Coach Donnie Burdon was hoping he would be. On second down, a quick throw out to Jared Grubb, and he is met immediately, loses 3 yards, and it's 3rd and long. Good defense that time on the perimeter by North Laurel. Matt Brooks in on the stop for the Jags.
Time it came with a little bit of a blitz action, able to swallow up Grubb and prevent any big play possibility here. If you're Coach Burdon, you like the way your defense handled North Laurel last time, so you don't want to turn it over here, Tanner.
It's 3rd and 13. Whistle, flag.
Going to be a few of those as we get the kinks out here early. Probably some movement up front. See Michael Ashurst give us a signal.
Prior to the step, number 10 on the defense, lined up in the neutral zone. That's encroachment, 5-yard penalty.
Now that's Cole McCorder, the quarterback playing on the other side of the ball for North.
See the young man just trying to get up and get an edge there. You're South here, you just don't want to turn the ball over.
3rd and 8. Fultz scrambling, firing, incomplete.
Whoa.
Intended target was Jared Grubb, and it'll be 4th down.
Great defense there by North Laurel. They had pressure on the quarterback, Tanner. The receiver was covered up. Probably fortunate that that pass sort of turned out to be the campfire ball as it lands in amongst the players. Sort of picked that up from the volleyball through the
Olympics.
Gotcha. The campfire ball.
Have you been watching a lot of the Olympics?
Oh, I have. I'm watching your man Kenny Rice do the boxing superbly.
Jacob Christensen, the junior, on to punt. High, not particularly booming punt that careens out of bounds near the 48-yard line of South Laurel.
Just shy of the 50-yard line. 1st and 10, North.
And that'll get us to a timeout. 6-0 North Laurel in the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week on this TV and WYMT.com. North Laurel gets the ball back after a South punt, leading 6-0. If you're just joining us, the Jaguars, Matt Sizemore ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Since then, these teams have traded punts, and now North Laurel sets up where it started its first drive in South Laurel territory, 1st and 10.
See these linebackers cheating up pretty close here, Tanner.
And it's a run to Rodriguez. Gets by the first wave of defenders before Lovins wrestles him to the ground.
Rodriguez on the carry.
And to the ground, he brings a flag with him.
Sort of in the area of perhaps a face mask. Couldn't see it from here, Tanner.
Tackled by Jared Lovins.
It will be a holding call against North Laurel, so that will negate the play. I like what South is doing here defensively, Tanner. They're trying to shoot those gaps and make a big play.
Jim, that's the 4th penalty of this first quarter already on North Laurel. Mentioned both these teams still trying to find their footing after
Absolutely.
a long summer.
Right.
A lot of hours put in getting ready for tonight.
And a lot of folks would say the defense ahead of the offense at this stage of the game here. And if you've got some pretty sharp guys playing linebacker for you, you can create some fits for that offensive line. And you see almost 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Rodriguez gets hammered.
Rodriguez on the carry.
Wow.
Nothing doing that time. South Laurel ready to sniff out that run game.
Look like Lenore coming up with a little massage for the ball carrier Rodriguez. I think right now, if you're North Laurel, you got to think maybe put this on the arm of McWhorter off the run fake. As you'll see the black shirts, you've got pretty much 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. If you can pop something over those guys, might go for a big play.
Straight up the middle again. This run a little more productive than the last one, but not by much, as Rodriguez is met by Jared Lovins. It'll be 3rd and long for North.
Yeah, this game developing into a battle up front. Last time these teams played on this field, it was a 20-14 win for North Laurel. So a couple of years ago, despite the fact South has won only 4 games the last couple of years, when they did play them here at home, it was a tough, close ball game. Now 3rd and long, not the type of situation Coach Larkey wanting. Don't know that you'll see a big pass here. May try and play sort of a field position game.
McCorder handing off. Rodriguez picks up a couple. Flag comes in. This may be a horse collar.
Yeah, either that or the hand got in the face mask there. Let's see.
Boy, this game has just been derailed by penalties so far.
Yeah, always going to have that early in the year. Let's take a look here at the replay. Great shot by our guys there, and I think you'll see maybe the hand get the face mask there.
You're right.
So the officials talk it over. Great shot by our guys. Great to get back with the crew and get into this mountain sports scene here on these Appalachian Wireless Games of the Week, Tanner, and you'll see the mark off there by umpire Kyle Adams.
Here in the run, we have a personal foul on the defense. Grasping the face mask, turning the face mask. 15-yard penalty, North Laurel, 1st down.
Boy, that is a back-breaking penalty for the Cardinals, who had forced North into a 3rd and long situation. And basically the Jags had run a give-up play just to be safe and punt that one. But now they have the benefit of a 1st down all the way down to the South 31-yard line.
Just awfully tough, South. You can tell a difference, though, can't you, Tanner? Particularly on this defensive unit, how these guys have worked in the weight room. They're able to get there and get to the ball carrier much easier this year.
Handoff, good gain. That's Sizemore, very close to the 1st down marker as he follows that beefy North Laurel offensive line to a good run there. And it is a 1st down for the Jaguars.
It's the 2nd 1st down of this game, 2nd 1st down of the drive.
Of course, Sizemore and Rodriguez looking to pick up the slack from a backfield that is basically all at Union College now. You mentioned Nelson from last year. Had a good season for North Laurel. They lost their kicker, their backfield, and a lineman, all to Union College. Guys getting the opportunity to play at the next level here locally.
Yeah, that's great. I tell you, so the handicap there is Union's going to have some good football players out there. Looks like we have a little bit of an equipment problem here, Tanner, and that's also some of the marks early in the season.
Of course, McCorder, the other stout running back from last year. The kicker, Hunley, now at Union, along with Oliver, their center from last year. Really helped pave the way for that 11-2 season, and a lot of the pieces from that line still there this year, Jim. That's definitely North Laurel's strength. Chris Larkey making no bones about that.
Tell you, Tanner, gotta love the uniforms on all of these teams here because easy to see those numbers.
On 1st and 10, it's Sizemore straight up the middle for about 6, maybe 7 yards. How about that push they're getting off the line of scrimmage?
Hunter Madden, junior, number 72. Bascom Bailey, number 76, another junior. See, those guys are having some problems with the helmets here. Tanner, you see them working on Madden's helmet there. Take a look here. You're going to see some great movement, Tanner. You mentioned off the ball. Sizemore has lots of room to roam, actually trips up over his own man. Ball control offense.
2nd and 3, Sizemore again picking his way for a 1st down as he's taken down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Jaguars.
Back to the uniforms, though. We got to love it, Tanner, here in the booth when they've got the big numbers that have the great outlines and they're easy to see. And, of course, these bold jerseys, these kids will be able to keep these for a long, long time. Great action here at the First Priority Bowl, the 6th annual First Priority Bowl. And got to love the things that those folks do at First Priority.
North Laurel trying to extend its win streak over South Laurel to 6 games. Good start here. Try to keep it going. Sizemore straight up the middle, stays on his feet, and reaches the end zone for a North Laurel touchdown. His second of the game after he ran the opening kickoff back to the house.
Great blocking point of attack. They put a couple of, look like offensive guards back there as running backs. So basically had some 8 offensive linemen in on the play, and Coach Chris Larkey just gives it to Sizemore with a bunch of guards and tackles center in front of him. He plows it through to the end zone.
Stinger missed the extra point attempt after the first touchdown, so it looks like North Laurel will go for it here to try to make it 14-0. Movement up front and a flag. By the way, that drive, Jim, 7 plays, covers 48 yards and ends with an 8-yard Matt Sizemore touchdown run. And this penalty going against North Laurel. It's 5th of the game.
They certainly are running the power eye here, does Coach Chris Larkey. If you saw there, they did have the offensive linemen lined up as fullbacks. So they're putting a lot of strength on the line and in the backfield. McWhorter simply turns and hands it to Sizemore now. Appears as if they'll try to change that play up a little bit. Shade beginning to engulf most of the field here. And they will change up that formation.
And another whistle.
Was that delay a game? That's timeout. Going to be one of those things that you would normally see, Tanner. You just don't have enough time to work on the extra things. This time a 2-point conversion play and a little bit of confusion going on, so Chris Larkey decides to go ahead and use a timeout rather than have something go awry.
Let's take a look at Class 5A football in the mountains. Have a graphic here to
let's do that.
Kind of run it down. Of course, South Laurel in Class 5A District 7, North Laurel in Class 5A District 8. The two teams met in the playoffs last year. North got the better end of that exchange, as they did in the season opener. But, boy, just a tough road to hoe for some of these teams. Pulaski County has been an absolute force the past few years. Southwestern right there. How about the job Larry French has done with that program the last couple of seasons? And, of course, Chris Larkey's father, the legendary Tom Larkey, now the head man at Perry Central.
In the same district. And, of course, North Laurel, South Laurel, not in the same district. So a lot of times you sort of figure that they would be. We're not much further than a good 4-iron away from the North Laurel campus, but both of those teams in a different district would be a good 4-iron, I might mention. Bubba Watson 4-iron.
So after the penalty for false start on North Laurel, this 2-point conversion, they'll try it from the 8-yard line, and Rodriguez is going nowhere, and the score will stay 12-0 North Laurel.
Derek Detheridge all over the play. Senior, 6'4", 243, just simply shoots the gap, makes the stop. And South, when you look at that particular drive there, how big was the face mask penalty? You know, they had them bottled up basically at midfield. We're going to force a 4th and 10 from midfield and the punt, but the defender got his hand in there on the face mask. Good call by Mike Asher's crew, and North Laurel able to punch it in.
You know, Jim, we showed you the Class 5A football teams in the mountains a moment ago. South Laurel hasn't won a 5A game since 2011. You have to go back to October 21st of that year to find the last Class 5A win for the Cardinals. They beat Madison Southern 37-17 back on October 21st, 2011. Also beat Pulaski County that year. Kind of shows you how the tables have turned in 5A as of late.
Last time, remember, the onside kick came and they got the great hop.
Stinger kicks a gutter ball this time, and it's fumbled but recovered. Malik Phillips fell on it for the Cardinals at about the 36-yard line, so better field position this time for Coach Donnie Burdine's offense.
See what Coach Burdine can draw up. both defenses
Good field position
blitzing pretty liberally.
around the 37-yard line.
It's a quick huddle South Laurel offense. A lot of times no huddle, Jim. They want to try to snap a play every 15 seconds.
Wow. Now you can see the size advantage for the white shirts here, Tanner. That's something, of course, we talked about with Coach Burdine, but he's got some quickness on that offensive line.
On 1st and 10, bad snap. Foltz picks it up and is dropped in the backfield for a loss. There to make the stop for North Laurel, the big defensive lineman, Zach Bowling.
And Big Zach all over the play. That time, quarterback Foltz just simply taking his eyes off of it. Ball squirts through. Sometimes you got to try to break the game down a little more simply.
Clean snap this time. Handoff, couple of yards straight up the middle. 3rd and long coming up after Harp runs out of running room. Harp a player, Jim. Coach Johnny Burdine saying there is no player on the team more dedicated than him. Talked already about the weight he added in the offseason, picking up 30 pounds, adding a lot of muscle.
You see South going quickly, just like you said they would, Tanner. That can cause some problems with the defense.
On 3rd and long. Oh, they run the reverse. This is Grubb. Around the edge, Jarrett is tripped up.
That come loose.
They're saying he was down before the ball came out. At any rate, it's 4th down for the Cardinals. Their offense is really sputtering here early.
Yeah, good job of contained there by the white shirts of North Laurel. A lot of times you'll go with the flow, Tanner, particularly early in the year, and then the good speed, the good cutback by Grubb could have been a big play. I like the play call by Coach Burdine, but Coach Larkey had his guys keeping with their responsibilities. Negates what could have been a big play. Had some high snaps here from center here, Tanner, and that's always a concern here as we go on special teams once again.
Punt by Christensen, a pretty good one. Spiral punt that spins back and is downed at the North Laurel 49-yard line. So for the first time, the Jaguars will start a drive in their own territory. They've benefited from great field position, starting at the South 37 and 48 respectively. 3rd drive of the game coming up.
Yeah. You see the Jags there as they will gather around the coaching staff. And last time North had their hands on it, they drove it some 49 yards to pay dirt. And there was a penalty on the punt, but that will be refused, and North Laurel will take the football. Now, I was a little surprised by that because it was a pretty good kick. I kind of thought they might force him to kick it again, but Coach Larkey content to keep the football.
All running plays so far for North Laurel. And why not? They've had such success running behind that offensive line.
Some big guys up there.
It's a winning formula.
See the big guys in the backfield as well. That little movement.
And this one's going back 5 yards.
Dead ball. Number 69 on the offense. False start. Penalized 5 yards from the spot. It's still 1st down.
Evan Alford, the guilty party that time for North.
What North is basically doing, they're lining number 50, Trey Lewis, senior offensive lineman, and number 56, Zach Bowling, junior offensive lineman, back there in the backfield. They put Sizemore back in the power I, and he dots it. And McWhorter simply handing the ball off, and there's got a lot of meat between him and the defenders, that's for sure. Don't know that we'll see the upback gets their hands on it, but they're wanting it.
Rodriguez trying to make a man miss, lowers his shoulder, and burrows his way into South Laurel territory. Ball came out. Officials are saying it will stay with North Laurel. Christensen came up and put a big hit that time on Rodriguez. But the big gainer will stand, and that brings up 2nd and 4 after the rush of 11 by Rodriguez.
And one of the things you like about South Laurel there, Tanner, is the way the guys are swarming to the football. You see 3-4 guys coming up to make the stop. At the time Rodriguez was able to get past the initial surge, but the black shirt swarmed.
It's Rodriguez again, hit in the backfield and dropped by Derek Deathridge. The 6'4 senior, first time we've called his name tonight, and that brings up a 3rd down.
Probably going to be the last play of this first quarter, but South Laurel's defense, Tanner, looks to me to be much, much improved this year. Just had some tough situations on the opening kickoff, but they've played South pretty even here early.
Well, so far the difference, a couple of touchdowns by Matt Sizemore. Took the opening kickoff back and then also punched it in from 8 yards out on the ground. 12-0 Jaguars over South Laurel here in the First Priority Bowl on this TV and WYMT.com. Big play coming up for North Laurel to start this second quarter. It's a 3rd and 4. Jags up a couple of touchdowns on South Laurel. A kickoff return for a touchdown by Matt Sizemore, and an 8-yard touchdown scamper by Sizemore has North out in front as the Jags look to win their 6th in a row over South Laurel. Here tonight at Gillum Field in London. 3rd and 4. Up the middle, Sizemore swallowed up. Flag comes in. Well short of the first down.
Sort of thrown in the area for another face mask.
And boy, that would be a devastating penalty. Remember, the penalty, the face mask that South Laurel got on the last drive extended the drive for North. They ended up scoring a touchdown.
Coach Ashurst is talking with the South Laurel guys, so it must have been against North. I'm going to guess maybe a block in the back there, but.
Going to hold on number 71. On the offense, penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
Logan Herman flagged. It's declined. And Sizemore actually lost a couple of yards on that rush. Good job by the South Laurel defense. It's now 4th and 6.
Tell you, the South Laurel defense is definitely improved, Tanner. You see the way those guys are able to beat the blocks up front, get in that gap. Looks like McWhorter will go back to punt once again.
Nobody back deep for the Cards. Movement up front. And this may back North up even more.
Once again, the special teams.
False start. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That time it was Matt Brooks.
Just going to have some situations where you just simply haven't been able to get all the work in that you need. Special teams, always a worry, and you saw there just a little movement up front by one of the upbacks. And just difficult for both teams to get organized in that special teams situation. McWhorter here needs to get away a good punt.
Now he has to field that one like a shortstop as it rolled to him.
I think they're going to say he was down back there, Tanner.
And they are. Well, a big break for South Laurel here as they will take over at about the North 38-yard line.
I'd love to see a replay of that.
See if our guys have a replay. Grubb was waiting back deep to field that one and looked as if he had the blockers in front of him for a pretty good return, but you'll take that if you're Coach Donnie Burdine. And speaking of Coach Burdine, he's in his 2nd year. Graduate of Pulaski County, was an assistant at Southwestern for 5 years.
Now South likes to go in a hurry here, Tanner. I like what Coach Burdine's trying to do. But offensively, just haven't had an answer for this North Laurel defense.
Up the middle, it's Harp, and he is driven backward. Boy, South Laurel has not had much luck at all running into the teeth of that North Laurel defensive line.
Maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Big
2nd and 10. Yep.
Yeah, big possession here for South Laurel.
On 2nd and 10, Foltz looks to throw it. airing it out deep, has a man out there, it's caught. Jared Grubb, was he in bounds? Yes, inside the north 20-yard line. First reception of the game for the Cardinals, and it's the trusty 6'1 senior Jared Grubb who hauled it in.
You know, last year, Tanner, unofficially in the first half, I had the first downs, North Laurel 19, South Laurel 0. There is the first down for South Laurel in this game, and they are in a hurry, Tanner.
Harp looking for running room, nothing there. And I beg your pardon, that completion actually the second of the game for the Cardinals, both to Grubb. The previous one, though, was for a loss of yardage, as was that run by Harp. Loses half a yard, maybe a whole yard, and it's 2nd and 11. You see the Jaguar defense just gets to him in a hurry.
It's just going to be awfully tough to move those guys up front.
2nd down, Fultz putting a lot of air under that one. And he overshoots Matt Dalton. So 3rd down coming up for the Cards. He had to get rid of that one a lot sooner than he was hoping.
Absolutely, Tanner. Good pressure there coming from the edge by North Laurel.
3rd down. 3rd and 10.
3rd down. Got to believe 4-down territory here for South.
And a timeout on the field. Timeout taken by the Cardinals. Well, let's talk a little more about Coach Donnie Burdine. We mentioned that he's done a good job of kind of restoring the enthusiasm around this program. Interesting note, he's a former Army Sergeant, Jim, 101st Airborne Division out of Fort Campbell.
How about that? Well, you gotta admire those guys, and Donnie Burdine here getting these guys going in a hurry. 2-9 the first year, but you can tell defensively they're a much improved team. And offensively, you're just trying to work the wrinkles out. Quarterback Fultz, a lot of pressure on that young man. Just a junior, so he's going to be getting better.
3rd and 10 out of the timeout. South Laurel could really use a conversion and a score here, Jim. Down a couple of touchdowns. You did not get off to the start you were hoping for, but a chance to climb back into the game right here. Fultz, good protection, firing, and it's incomplete. South Laurel fans wanting a flag, as it was Matt Sizemore on the coverage. Looked like he might have bumped Grubb before the ball got there. Not much of a protest from Grubb, and it's 4th and 10.
I think your point there, Grubb, not much of a protest. Perhaps both players going for the football, Tanner, so the back judge keeps the rag in his pocket, but there was definitely some contact while the ball was in the air. Tough 4th down call here.
Cards are going to go for it on 4th and 10. Big moment here early in the second quarter. Flag down as Fultz throws toward the sideline, and it's intercepted. That's Sizemore.
Intercepted. Matt
Sizemore already with a kickoff return for a touchdown in this game, looking for a pick six, and will come up about 49 yards short of that as a penalty flag comes in for perhaps a late hit on Brody Osborne. But there is also a penalty flag down back at the North Laurel 18-yard line. That flag was thrown right as the ball was snapped.
Exactly, Tanner. Couldn't pick it up, but it looked like in the line you see the tip there and the great interception by Sizemore. But prior to that, there was a play in the line, and I'm not sure if the flag will actually go against North Laurel here. It looked like the defensive tackle and offensive guard got tangled up. You see Sizemore make a great return and get the ball back to midfield, but the officials are huddling, and if it's ruled that the North Laurel player threw the South Laurel player to the ground, then this one will come back. I don't think it's a lot of times when you see a flag going into the line, Tanner, you'll say, well, it's automatically holding, okay? But it looked to me like those guys got tangled up, and I think the North player may have gotten his hands in there on the pads, so we'll see.
Of course, you still have the flag
on the
back near the line of scrimmage to reconcile as well.
Well, that's what I'm talking about there.
Here's Mike Ashurst.
During the play, we had ineligible down the field. On South Laurel, number 21, the penalty by North Laurel is by South is declined. On the run back, we have a dead ball, personal foul with the headgear, number 52, which is a 15-yard penalty, and 52 is ejected.
Wow.
Ooh.
So Brody Osborne, the 5'8 senior, is out of the game. And the original penalty, which was illegal man downfield on Jared Grubb, is declined. So the stellar run back by Sizemore will be bolstered by 15 additional yards on the penalty, and that is a big loss for South Laurel, losing Osborne.
Yeah. Didn't really pick that up there, Tanner. And see the young man with the exit. Of course, so many rules being enforced here for the safety of the game, and particularly for the safety of the head and neck area. So the officials, that's a point of emphasis this year, and it has been for the last couple of years. First down, big play North Laurel.
At the South 35-yard line. A lot of players jumping up front. Flags fly from every direction. Well, there's been a lot of pre-snap movement in this game, hasn't there?
Yes, there has, Tanner, but let's remember, it's the first game. These guys, high school football, college football, you don't get the benefit of the preseason like you do in professional ranks, so certainly a few scrimmages and those type things, but you're always going to see a little bit of a difference when those Friday night lights come on. Guys get excited, they understand what their assignment is, but sometimes forget what the snap count was.
Eighth penalty of the game against the Jaguars makes it 1st and 15.
South Laurel, no penalty yardage. First sideline warning is a warning.
And speaking of penalties, they just keep adding up. Of course, that one not resulting in any yards being marked off, but first sideline warning of the game against South. How about the crowds for both these schools tonight?
Oh, big crowds on hand here, Tanner. It's sort of a L.A. kind of crowd, a late arriving type deal, but they get here.
Fooling nobody that time. Straight up the middle, McCorder on the quarterback keeper, scrounged out a couple, and then Rodriguez went around the edge on the fake pitch, and he got tackled as well.
No gain, 2nd and 10.
Right now, this South Laurel defense has been on the field quite a bit, Tanner, in this game. Of course, the sun is set. It's not been as hot as maybe sometimes you'll see in August as the kids are playing football out there, but the more snaps you have to take while you're on the field jumping around there, somebody's going to get a little tired as the game goes on.
McCorder in the shotgun on 2nd and 15. He'll keep it himself. Sheds a tackler and picks up a couple of those old yak yards we like to talk about. Yards after catch. 5, maybe 6-yard game. 3rd and 10 coming up.
Great blocking on the edge by North Laurel, but if there's anything you see from this South Laurel defense, it's the team speed and strength that these kids have got. There was an opening there, but the speed of the linebacking crew, defensive backs for South Laurel, able to cut that one down before the first down yardage could be gained.
They're down and 10. McCorner running to the opposite side this time, and he's tripped up. It'll be 4th down for the Jaguars after a fine defensive play by the Cards that time to snuff that one out in the backfield.
Given the fact that South Laurel had that deep penetration offensively and turned it over down on the goal line. Big play by North Sizemore once again to intercept the pass and make the big play. But South's defense here looks like they're going to be relying a lot on those guys this year. Look pretty solid.
Kennedy Guyan made the stop. Loss of a couple. McCorder back in punt formation. Grubb deep for the Cards. Low spiral punt for McCorder. Straight out of bounds.
Punt goes out of bounds. Out near the 30-yard line. 1st and 10.
So South Laurel, which was knocking on the door of a score on its last drive before that interception, will now have a much bigger field with which to work if they want to march and try to get on the scoreboard here on this drive. And we will step aside. Still 12-0 North Laurel, but South will have the ball when we return from this timeout. You're watching the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week on this TV and WYMT.com. South Laurel down a couple of touchdowns, begins this drive at its 28-yard line. 1st and 10. Bailey Foltz still at quarterback for the Cards, working out of a shotgun here. And he'll fake it to Harp and keep it. Nice little read option, and Foltz is into the open field. Dragged down in North Laurel territory. Perhaps a touchdown saving tackle by Dawson Bowling.
Good ball faking. And now, after the first down, Coach Burdine, the master sergeant, wants his guys to get in a hurry and get going here.
We mentioned they like to snap it within 15 seconds of the end of the previous play. At the North 45, Foltz looking to throw this one. Scrambling, and he makes something out of nothing. Foltz ends up picking up about 8 yards. Boy, he was nearly down 3 or 4 times in the backfield. Very elusive.
Yeah.
Give him a gain of a gain of 7, and we'll call this 2nd and 3.
Probably a good idea by Bailey that time to tuck it under and run. There was good coverage on his guys. Offensive line giving him some time to throw, though.
Foltz handing off this time. It's Gunnar Whitaker. Maybe a yard.
Jay Sams on the carry.
Check it at Sams. And he is stuffed. Sizemore in on the stop for North Laurel.
3rd and 2.
Just not much up front. Tough yardage against this North Laurel defense. That's where you're going against the strength of this defense, the front.
On 3rd down and 4, Foltz will look to the sideline for the play call, and Donnie Burdine will call a timeout. Let's talk a little bit about North Laurel coach Chris Larkey, now in his 8th year with the Jags. Of course, he was at Rockcastle County for so many years, Jim. Graduated from Rock in '88, was an assistant for his dad from 1990 to 2007 at Rockcastle County. Played at EKU. And his team so far tonight, all running plays exactly as he predicted. Not at all like that scrimmage where they threw it every time.
Well, he's certainly going to test you between the tackles, and right now the defensive line is a real strength for his team, as you see some of those big guys that tough to move. Number 69, you see there, Evan Alford, 71, Logan Herman. A couple of juniors, got a lot of good junior class here for North Laurel. I think you mentioned they only have 5 seniors, but got a big junior class.
3rd and 4. Screen pass. Foltz able to dump it down to Harp. And Harp has the first down as he's taken down inside the 35-yard line. Good play call that time by South.
Absolutely, Tanner. You see the flow went to the top of the screen there. Then they go back against the grain. Bailey Foltz draws the defense in. And Harp able to get the first down. Another first down. Team's tied in first downs, and if South could push something across here, Tanner, as we go inside 6 minutes to play first half, get this thing back to a one-score ball game here at home, be in good shape.
Fultz on first down. Airmails that one. Lucky it wasn't picked off. Dalton Smith had a hand on it, maybe two, in that North Laurel secondary. Lovins the intended target for Fultz, 2nd and 10. Now you mentioned how much the Cards would love a score here, Jim. Remember, they will receive to start the second half, so that plays into your decision-making here.
Absolutely.
If you're both coaches, really.
Like the way these defensive backs are covering the receivers, Bailey Fultz really hasn't had a whole lot of open time to throw.
Going for the end zone. Batted away, incomplete. Outstanding coverage by Smith. Lovins again the intended target. Well, you had him one-on-one. That's what you want when you are trying to figure out whether to take a deep shot. But that one is knocked away, incomplete. Sets up 3rd and 10 for the Cards.
Good play. Another one of these juniors, Dalton Smith, number 11, was all over the receiver.
You like the aggressiveness by Donnie Burdine taking some shots here?
Absolutely. You're just trying to get those defensive backs to sort of spread themselves out and then try to get something underneath, I think.
Good protection for Fultz, and incomplete. Had a man over the middle. That's Grubb, but they can't hook up, and now it's 4th down.
Wouldn't be surprised to see them go for it here, Tanner.
Remember, they were in a similar situation on the last drive, went for it on 4th down, ended up throwing an interception, which Sizemore ran back about 40 yards. So we'll see what Donnie Burdine decides to do here.
In the passing game, you want to try to stretch the defense vertically and horizontally. Seen him try the shot at the end zone, then tried to cut one back up underneath to Grubb. Looked like he was open, just couldn't connect.
Bad snap on 4th and 10. Fultz trying to track it down. He's hammered.
Ball is free.
And North Laurel
Still free.
able to fall on it back near the south 45-yard line.
Covered by North Laurel.
Another good drive foiled for the Cards.
Looks like it's Steve Lewis on the recovery.
They're going to credit Lewis with the recovery for the Jags. Just a back-breaking turn of events for the homestanding Cardinals.
Wow, and another turnover, I guess, on 4th down. And looked like the play call there was designed to go to the top of the screen. Center probably had the responsibility, Tanner, of not only getting the snap back to the quarterback, but hustling out to the edge to pass block, and just a little bit too tall for quarterback Fultz, and North Laurel once again sets up shop inside South Laurel territory.
Good
they've
point.
had some great field position, haven't they?
Every drive but one tonight for the Jaguars has started on the plus side of the field, if you will.
Yeah.
Figure they'll be pretty conservative here, and they keep it on the ground with Rodriguez. Dances his way for about 6 yards.
Rodriguez on the carry.
Finally tripped up after a decent gain. A couple of Cardinals
Gain of close to 5 yards.
in on the stop, including Jared Lovins.
Second
Critical
5.
last 4.5 minutes of this first half. If North is able to put across the score here, get this lead up 18-0, 20-0, going to be tough for South to come back. But if they could get their defense to make a stand and at least get in no worse than 12-0.
Rodriguez again flagged down as he tries to turn it outside.
Again, Rodriguez on the carry.
Brought down by Lovins. And officials will blow the whistle here. Might have been a flag that came in. There was, and it appears to be against North Laurel.
Take a look here, Tanner, and
North Laurel.
just see not a lot of room. This South Laurel defense getting a lot of guys to the football. And William Lenore coming up along with his teammates to make the stop. You see the signal there. It will be a hold against North Laurel. See if Coach Burdine accepts the penalty.
During the run, number 76, offense, hold, penalized 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still second down.
Well, there's your answer. And now it's 2nd and 15. I think you have to take the penalty there, Jim. You put them back on the other side of midfield.
Yep.
Make it a lot tougher. This is a North Laurel team that hasn't thrown yet, so if you can maybe get another stuff or two, pin them deep, still plenty of time if you get the ball back, if you're South Laurel, to make something happen, especially with that no-huddle offense.
Yeah, the offense getting a little bit of a flow, and defensively now, they're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, and you see pretty much 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
McCorder throwing, and it's incomplete, out of the hands of Matt Sizemore.
Intended for Sizemore.
Sizemore with the good hands, and that one just simply falls through. Incomplete. Like the play call by Coach Larkey, though, but sets up 3rd and long now, and South wouldn't be surprised defensively to see him come with an all-out blitz here.
Third down and 15. Pretty good protection for McCorder. Uncorks one. Had a man out there, but he overshoots him just slightly.
Quarters pass incomplete.
I believe that was Dawson Bowling. It was. Had a step on his defender. Looked like he squirted right through that seam in the secondary, and if that one would have connected, it could have gone for 6.
Yeah.
So South Laurel dodges a bullet there.
Well, they came with some blitz and tried to put the pressure on the quarterback. Offensive line able to pick that blitz up, and McWhorter nearly found his receiver for the big play.
Brooks back to punt.
Brooks, a booming punt over the head of Grubb and into the end zone for a touchback. Boy, he got all of that one, didn't he?
Didn't he, though? Some 52 yards on the punt, and now South with a chance here at home. 3:37 to play first half. They've gotten a little bit more rhythm going with quarterback Bailey Fultz. Don't know that you'll see North come with much of a blitz package here, Tanner, so there might be some things underneath. Coach Burdine trying to stretch the field horizontally and vertically. I'd see him take a long, deep shot here, or perhaps try to find something underneath. They did have a good screen play. They worked for a big first down to Harp in the early part of this quarter.
Fultz had that big run on the last drive. Last year, 48 rushes, minus 1 yard on the season. And he pitches it this time. That's Harp. Good gain on first down.
That's what you want, good gain on first down. Certainly you do want to get a couple of first downs here, Tanner. Chew up the rest of this clock. Go in no worse than 12-0. Let's remember, North Laurel scored the first time they touched it on the kickoff return. So it's been a pretty even contest since then, Tanner.
Matt Sizemore accounting for both Jaguar touchdowns. And Harp snowed under after a loss of a couple yards. It'll be third down for South Laurel. That was basically the same play, just to the opposing side, and nobody was fooling North.
Yeah. Kind of thought North might call a timeout here. They were forced to use a timeout on the two-point conversion try that went awry, so they thought maybe they might go for the timeout and try to pin South Laurel back deep.
3rd and 8. Fultz, quick throw, and it's at the feet of his intended target. 4th down coming up for South Laurel.
Tell you, Tanner, that was a pretty big hit that the young man took there. You see
Whitaker, I believe, is the one. Yeah, it's Gunnar Whitaker, the sophomore, slow to get up, but he will stagger over to the sideline, and the punt team will come on for South. 3 and out for the Cardinals.
I saw Gunner prior to the game, told him it's a fast track. He said, yeah, and he was ready to go. And I think that time linebacker just caught him underneath those shoulder pads and maybe knocked the breath out of him a little bit. Clock stops, though, on the incomplete pass, so gives North Laurel an opportunity to get their hands on it. We can't say that South has done a great job punting the ball so far. Special teams been a problem.
Decent punt this time that takes a South Laurel bounce and goes out of bounds at about the 48-49 yard line. Plenty of time for North Laurel to tack on another score before the intermission. Jags don't exactly have a quick strike offense, but that offensive line can open up a hole for either Sizemore or Rodriguez. It's good night, Irene.
Yeah, and we also saw McWhorter. He has a pretty good arm. He talked about they have worked on the passing game in the preseason for situations like these. Game still hangs in the balance at 12-0, though. You turn the ball over here and you give South a short field, give them an opportunity to get back in it. So I think, just as you mentioned, Tanner, they'll pretty much keep it between the tackles rather than go to the quick strike offense.
It's Rodriguez. Good hole. Jose Rodriguez cuts it back inside the 20-yard line.
Brought down by number 11, Malik Phillips.
A gain of about 30 yards on first down.
Not a whole lot of first downs for North Laurel in this second quarter. The South Laurel defense had answered every play, but that time Sizemore gets great blocking, point of attack, huge hole, and inside the 20-yard line now for that North Laurel team. That's one of the few times in the game this South Laurel defense has been beaten at the line of scrimmage. Of course, they've been out there quite a bit in this first half.
Yeah, the South Laurel defense being asked to do a lot here early in this game as North keeps it on the ground with Rodriguez. Gain of a few yards, second down coming up, and that clock will continue to run.
Brings up a second down.
Here at home, right before the half, South needing to make a big play. May see some blitzing going on, not necessarily the pass blitz, but the run blitz. You're trying to get a guy in every gap.
Rodriguez again. He takes the handoff, and that's about it. Third down coming up.
May see North spend one of their timeouts here.
William Lenore in on the stop for South Laurel. Clock under a minute to go here in the first half.
Make some noise for the Cardinal defense.
This would be a monumental stop for South Laurel. And if you're North and you're able to score here, it would really demoralize the homestanding Cardinals. As you see the red-clad fans on their feet.
Getting close to the delay of game.
3rd and 6. McWhorter throwing toward the end zone. Caught, touchdown. That's Dalton Smith.
Into the end zone for a touchdown.
Excellent play call.
Beautiful play. South was coming on the blitz, so that leaves single coverage back there on Smith, and McWhorter under pressure anticipates the great cut by Smith, and touchdown North Laurel. But the big play there, Tanner, was that first down run by Sizemore, moving the ball from basically the 50-yard line down inside
Rodriguez.
the 20. Rodriguez, excuse me.
Rodriguez key on that drive. A 4-play drive. Covers 49 yards, and they'll try to tack on the extra point with Stinger, but they'll have to wait on a penalty flag.
Dead ball, illegal substitution on the offense, penalized 5 yards.
And North Laurel now has 10 penalties. Something Chris Larkey no doubt will address with his team when they go back over the tape of this game.
Always tough in these first couple of games to get those things ironed out, particularly in a big rivalry game like this, Tanner, with so many things sort of swarming through the minds of these young men as they battle out there in the first priority bowl.
Stinger 0 for 1 on extra points tonight. This one has the distance, but not the accuracy. So it will stay 18-0 North Laurel with 23 seconds remaining in the opening half. So for the first time tonight, South will, excuse me, I started to say the first time they field a kickoff, but this obviously, they've only kicked it off one time. That was to start the game, and it was the one Sizemore ran back for a touchdown. So Sizemore with a couple of touchdowns, one on special teams, one on the ground. And then you have that 17-yard touchdown strike from Cole McCorder to Dalton Smith, junior to junior connection. It was funny, I asked Chris Larkey, why do you run it so much? Why are you so in love with the run game? Of course, he gets it fair and square from his dad. He said, I would like to pass it more, but sometimes you just can't pass. Well, we learned on that last play that the Jags certainly can pass if they need to. Probably a play that was set up by the 2 or 3 plays in front of it. Got the defense going one direction, thinking one thing, and then you hit them with the other, which was the deep ball to Smith. Another short kickoff by Stinger through the hands of a Cardinal and out of bounds at about the South Laurel 40.
Tell you got to love the way these North Laurel guys go for the onside kick. It looks like they've got an opportunity to recover almost every time as kicker once again gets that huge hop on the second hop. Not necessarily the first hop, Tanner, but kicker approaches the ball and hits the top half of it on a downward motion really hard. And a lot of times the first hop is sort of hugging the ground, and then the second time it'll pop way up over that receiver's head. Exactly what's happened here these last couple of times they've tried it.
At the spot, out of bounds. 1st and 10.
.21 seconds remaining. South Laurel also still has a timeout in the bank. Handoff by Foltz up the middle. That's Harp, I believe. Yep.
Initially hit by Matt Brooks.
Check it. Might have been Grubb. Brooks on the stop for North. Clock will run out here in the first half. Well, or would appear to. The buzzer sounds, but they are going to give South Laurel the timeout just before the half ended. And they will replenish the clock to 2 seconds.
I think Coach Burdine may be going to try a Hail Mary here. Getting his guys organized and just had the terrible start with special teams and unable to generate much offense in that first quarter, put his defense out there on the field a lot. They'd only given up one score despite being hammered by Chris Larkey's big offensive line. And then McWhorter able to find Smith there after the big run by Rodriguez here late in this first half to push the lead up to 18-0. Now, Tanner, a good point you made. South does get their hands on it to begin the second half. So I think Coach Burdine going to tell his guys we've got to take that one to the house, take that one to the end zone, and get this thing back to a 2-score game. Certainly different than it was last year in the first Priority Bowl when it was 43-0 at the half as North Laurel had just steamrolled the South defense on every possession. 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns.
Foltz has a pretty good arm, but he would have to throw this one about 55 or 60 yards to the end zone.
Well, you might have one of those plays where you throw it about 10 yards and start the lateral deal going.
The old hook and ladder, Boise State style perhaps. Foltz launches this one, and it's picked off. Second interception of the game for Sizemore, and he nearly stayed on his feet to try to run that one back, but he's wrestled to the turf, and that brings the curtain down on the first half of play here in the Priority Bowl. 18-0 North Laurel leading South Laurel. A couple of touchdowns for Matt Sizemore, a touchdown from Cole McCorder to Dalton Smith. Certainly a much closer game than the two times these clubs met last season, but as of now, still a big advantage for North Laurel. Up 3 touchdowns at the break. We'll take a break as well. The Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week on this TV and WYMT.com.
I'm thinking South trying to get an opportunity here, Tanner, to get something going here in this third quarter.
Well, the other number 9, Cole Stinger, has it teed up for North Laurel. And the second half is underway. Another short kick, and this will go out of bounds. And will draw an illegal procedure penalty. Remember, Stinger's been kicking them short all night long. You had the onside kick that North Laurel recovered at the onset of the game after they ran the opening kickoff back for the touchdown. Part of what helped them build that 12-0 lead. Then they tacked on the touchdown late in the second quarter. Haven't had any success on points after scores, as it's 18-0 North. Okay, you're South Laurel. You're down 18-0 coming out onto the field for the second half here. Jim, what's your mental approach?
I like what Coach has done throughout the first half. He's putting the pressure on his quarterback, Bailey Fultz, just a junior, and you're seeing this young man grow up with every possession.
Grubb on the carry. Finds a hole, bounces it to the outside, and hurdles a defender out near the 44-yard line. A late flag after the 7-yard pickup by the senior Jared Grubb.
See Grubb kind of going down there a little bit. Don't know if that might have been a late hit. It's a good block on the edge by the wide receiver. You know, South wants to get their offense going in a flow, Tanner, so I'm not sure.
Hitting a defenseless player. We're going to tack on 15, personal foul from the end of the run. First down, South Laurel.
That's Trey Lewis, the guilty party. Remember, South Laurel had a player ejected in the first half, Brody Osborne, because of a similar hit. That one not quite as egregious, as Lewis will get to stay in the game.
And Tanner, it's just going to be a point of emphasis. Certainly the sport of football coming under fire with concussions and those type situations. So at every level of football, they're going to take a long look at those late hits. But let's see if South can get things going and get quarterback Bailey Fultz to make some plays.
From the North 42, first down run. Fultz has about 3. Remember, they made that adjustment in the second quarter where they started letting Fultz run it a little more out of the shotgun formation. Yep. They seem to have some success with that. And Donnie Burdine keeping the playbook on that page here to start the second half.
Yeah, I like what Coach Burdine's doing here with his quarterback, Bailey Fultz.
2nd and 8, pass complete, Grubb, but he is wrapped up and taken down by Dawson Bowling. So he loses the yards that Fultz picked up on the run, plus a few more, and now it's 3rd and long. Boy, those short passes just have not worked out at all for the Cardinals tonight.
Well, Dawson Bowling there, realizing that Grubb is one of those guys that can hit the home run against you. So he came up, anticipated the play, and made the nice stop.
3rd and 13. Protection breaks down. Ball is out. Fultz lost it. Looks like the Cards may have gotten it back, but then it came out again. We'll see who they give it to. They're going to say that South Laurel recovered back in its own territory.
I think Bailey lost that a couple of times and then able to get it back.
And another promising drive for the Cardinals is snuffed out. What we saw happen several times in the first half, those mental lapses that Coach Donnie Burdine mentioned in his halftime interview with Caleb, one of them comes back to bite the Cards again there.
This North Laurel defense has played pretty tough as well, Tanner. A veteran unit making some big plays.
Christensen punts it away. Smith, the deep man for North Laurel, he'll let it bounce, and a good punt by Christensen that will be downed inside the North Laurel 20-yard line. So not a good start offensively for South to this second half, but they succeed on special teams and are able to pin the Jags deep.
Yeah. And now we'll see another junior quarterback, Cole McWhorter, number 10, come in here for Coach Chris Larkey. We saw him hook up with Dalton Smith on a touchdown pass in the waning seconds of the first half. Push this lead up to a 3-score game at 18-0. But I think what we'll see North do here is try to test South Laurel defense between the tackles pretty heavily in this third quarter. Try to tire those guys out.
1st and 10. It's a keeper from McWhorter. Around the edge. Picks up around 7 yards. Pushed out of bounds by a couple of Cardinals, including Sailor Harzma. 2nd down coming up for North Laurel. You can just tell from looking on your screen how physical that North Laurel offensive line is. We mentioned combined they weigh more than 1,500 pounds. Put a lot of time in the weight room in the offseason. Coach Chris Larkey told me this week it's one of the best offensive lines he's ever been around, not just at North Laurel, but his entire career, and that's a high compliment.
That is, because he's seen those Rockcastle County boys move the football, and looks like they'll actually measure here.
Yeah, they gave McWhorter a pretty good spot. They're going to say he actually got up to around the 1st down marker before he was ridden out.
Great
Chains
shot.
come out. Yep, good camera work by our man Freddie Hunt. And it's a 1st down for the Jags.
Using the Spalding football there, so I guess the swoosh brand hasn't made it to the high school ranks yet.
But they are the official sponsor of your headset, right?
Yeah. It's a good play call by Coach Larkey there. Just simply went student body right, and his quarterback McWhorter able to get the 1st down. North, not a whole lot of 1st downs in this game. I have them unofficially with 7 1st downs. South Laurel with 4.
1st and 10. Sizemore driven backward that time. Hunter Jones, the sophomore, meets Sizemore and drops him. No gain.
Sizemore, heck of a player. Another one of these juniors Coach Larkey has, so those guys are going to do nothing but get better throughout the course of this year. I like the way that South Laurel front, see those guys getting fired up in that front. They're matching the physicality of North up front, pretty much snap for snap.
Look at all the shifting going on that South Laurel defense. They actually had a defensive lineman fall down before the snap, and as a result may have had a man out of position on defense, leading to that nice run by McWhorter to set up 3rd and short.
Initially hit by Lovins.
Unless they spot it and give him the 1st down. Looks like he's about a half-yard shy from up here.
Yeah.
Call it
Close to a 1st down.
3rd and maybe half a yard. Seen McWhorter run it a lot more in the 2nd and 3rd quarter as opposed to the traditional handoffs we saw in the 1st.
Well, what you do there, if your quarterback's able to run the football effectively, it gives you a couple of extra blockers there as you go student body right and left. As you see Michael Ashurst there in the white hat, they'll stretch the chains and about a half-yard shy, as Tanner said. So
3rd and short.
3rd and short here for Coach Larkey. You see him across the way there talking with his quarterback.
Mentioned how South Laurel's just now getting their numbers back up, Jim. North Laurel is there. 73 players on the roster, just 5 seniors.
Looks like a college team over there. I mean, it really does. They're spread out from the 40 down to the 30-yard line. So, I mean, a lot of white shirts over there hoping for an opportunity to play in the first priority bowl. Those big guys up front. Big offensive line here for North Laurel.
3rd and short. This is where that O-line makes its money. And they might have jumped. Big penalty here, and it's going against North Laurel.
Dead ball. False start, number 75 on the offense. Good prior to snap. 5-yard
Just early in the year, Tanner, and sometimes you have those guys that are so preoccupied with their assignment that the snap count that's mentioned in the huddle is not the one that's going through your head, okay? That's just sort of the way that happened. It looked like both offensive tackles jumped on the play.
3rd down.
So 3rd and short becomes 3rd and about 6. Jumbo backfield for the Jags. They'll give it to Rodriguez. Has blockers in front, has the first down and more. Rodriguez down the sideline and steps out near midfield. A first down for the Jaguars.
They stepped out at midfield, so they'll come back. Look like you may see a hit that will go out of bounds here. Let's take a look. Good pitch back there, and Rodriguez with that good speed. And let's see if we can get the shot here, the stiff arm, and he will step out of bounds right there. Yeah, sure.
Good call by our officials.
Yep. But there was a pretty hard hit by South Laurel when Rodriguez was out of bounds over there. That negated. First down, North Laurel.
At its own 49-yard line. 1st and 10, Rodriguez again.
Rodriguez on the carry.
Met by Jared Lovins after a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 now for North. Trying to win its 6th in a row in this rivalry versus South Laurel. The series since 1998 favors North Laurel 10-9. Of course, that's including the big playoff victory for North last year over South.
Wouldn't have realized that it was that close. Of course, I guess South won a lot of games early, and North Laurel winning a lot of games here in the latter years. South did have a pretty good advantage on North in the early part of this rivalry in football.
2nd and 6, bootleg by McCorder. And he is stuffed. Might have gotten a yard or two. For the most part tonight, South Laurel's defense has been ready for whatever North ran. And you have to give credit to these coordinators for the Cardinals. Defensive coordinator Matt Powinski, who was the offensive coordinator last year. It's interesting, Jim. South swapped offensive and defensive coordinators from last year to this year.
Okay.
Evan Napier was the defensive coordinator last year. Of course, you remember him, former head coach at Clay County.
Yeah.
Now the offensive coordinator, and Powinski moves to coach the defense. It's 3rd down and 5. They'll pitch it to Rodriguez. Trying to get the corner. He does, and he has the first down. Second time they've gone to Rodriguez in a 3rd down situation on this drive, and he's been able to deliver.
Good block on the edge by number 81, Nick Broughton. Junior tight end wide receiver. He matched up on Grubb. Saw Grubb make the tackle on the previous play. That time Grubb coming up on the other side of the field trying to make the stop, and Broughton, another one of these fine juniors for this North Laurel team, executes a solid block, and it's another first down for North Laurel as they chew up some more of this clock in the 3rd quarter. Thought maybe we might see a little bit more misdirection rather than these sweeps. Thought we might see some counters and so forth.
Well, we'll see a throw here. It's complete to Smith. He had the touchdown catch in the first half, and this reception good for about 7 yards. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Phil was on the tackle.
Can sort of see the North Laurel offense getting that rhythm going sort of the same way we saw South Laurel in the latter part of the first half. Just now joining us, North Laurel scored on the opening kickoff. And South able to pretty much hold their own from that point forward.
2nd and 3. This is Rodriguez, first down run. He's taken down shy of the 25-yard line. We've talked about this South Laurel defense, Jim. It's a 4-2-5 scheme that they just switched to this year. Last year, in Donnie Burdine's first season as head coach, they ran a 3-4, but they got away from that this season because Donnie was the only member of the coaching staff that was really familiar with the 3-4. So his coaches said, we would feel better running a 4-2-5. We think that fits our personnel a little better. So that 4-2-5 defense for South Laurel has turned in a pretty good performance so far tonight. Hasn't been helped out much at all from the offense. 1st and 10 North. Rodriguez up the middle. Boy, look at him. Use some power to go along with the speed as he drags tacklers for extra yardage.
Just burst through the line of scrimmage and quickly was into that second level. And can see right now that Coach Chris Larkey has a couple of real studs in number 6, Jose Rodriguez, number 22, Matt Sizemore. Sort of interchanges those guys with the ball carrying load, and they can take it up between the tackles or they can cut it to the outside and become really effective.
2nd and 2. 10th play of the drive for North. And it's Rodriguez again. Close to the first down, maybe a bit shy.
Rodriguez on the carry.
Just classic Larkey football, Tanner, as the clock continues to roll.
And they'll give him the first down. It's a South Laurel defense. Lost its 2 leading tacklers from last season, Jordan Patterson and Zach Payne. Had to fill some serious holes. Cardinals will take a timeout here to talk about things as that defense looks to be a little gassed.
Now you see the North Laurel guys going around their coaches, and there's the South Laurel huddle, and quickly the helmets come off and the water goes. Gatorade, and it is a warm evening, but not obtrusively warm, Tanner, to the point where guys were worrying about the heat index and those type of things.
We want to remind all fans tonight to be sure to tweet using the hashtag North versus South. Hashtag North vs South. Get in on the conversation and get your tweet on during the broadcast. And that prompts me to ask the question I asked you virtually every game last year. Are you on the Twitter yet?
You know, I'm going to get it going, Tanner. You know, I was going to get fired up for that, but, you know, my man Kurt Schilling gets in all kinds of trouble with the Twitter, so he scared me away from it for a while. I mean, I wouldn't want to get on there and say something dumb.
From the bloody sock to controversial tweets, huh?
I mean, can you believe it, though?
Well, we should be clear. You do have a Twitter account, but it is long dormant.
Yeah, dormant.
It has not been activated in quite some time.
Right.
And that's why we need the audience, whether you're at the game or watching online or on television, to tweet. Tweet early and often.
Yeah.
1st and 10 North Laurel coming out of the timeout. We'll see if the Cardinals were able to collect themselves and can come up with a defensive stop here. Figure it's 4-down territory for North, as McCorder barely got that handoff away before being ridden to the ground. He's able to get it to Rodriguez, and he picks up positive yardage, about 5 yards, sets up 2nd and 5.
Great surge by that. Great surge by the defensive line of South Laurel. Looked like maybe number 50, Hunter Jones, 5'11", 221 sophomore. Was one of the first guys to shoot through there and nearly got the handoff, Tanner, as you mentioned.
Second down and a long 5. Rodriguez. Nothing doing.
Rodriguez once again.
Good stop by Jared Lovins, and it's 3rd down. Jared Grubb in on the stop as well. Lenore there.
It's a big hit, too. You saw Rodriguez adjusting the helmet there after the tough hit.
Donnie Burdine told us his players are more aware this year. They seem to have a better nose for the football, and we definitely have enough evidence tonight to support that claim. The South Laurel defense, you look at the scoreboard and you may not know it, but they have really turned in a good performance.
They certainly have. Now let's take a look at the top left of your screen there. Dalton Smith split out wide to the left.
3rd and 5. They'll throw it to Smith. Catch. Can he get the first down? Yes! Down near the goal line. No signal. And they're going to mark him down short. But it'll be 1st and goal for North Laurel. You called it.
Now you saw Smith just sort of smoothly get out on the edge there. McWhorter gets the snap, quickly fires it out to his buddy Dalton Smith, the junior. Huge junior class here, Tanner, making an impact for North Laurel.
1st and goal, North.
1st and goal for the Jaguars. 12th play of the drive coming up here. McWhorter keeping up the middle, touchdown.
Like McWhorter on the keeper. Touchdown, North Laurel Jaguars.
And the Jaguars add a little bit more cushion here in the first Priority Bowl.
Yeah, you see the score there at 24-0. The flags will fly, and we've seen that a lot on another network in another country. Yes, United States, of course, involved in the Olympics. What a great past couple of weeks that has been. And you see the fans lining the field, just like Coach Burdine said, Tanner. There's a lot of folks here in London watching some high school football. Game closer than the score indicates, though.
12 play, 82-yard drive. Bad snap. McWhorter trying to do something with it, dances around, and he'll be brought down short of the goal line, so it will stay a 3-possession game. 24-0, North Laurel leading South Laurel here in the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week on this TV and WYMT.com. A 12-play, 82-yard touchdown drive for North Laurel, punctuated by a quarterback sneak for a touchdown from Cole McWhorter. 2-point conversion try, no good. I guess technically it was an extra point try. Bad snap. Point after fails. 24-0. Stinger kicks it away, falling on it at about the 46-yard line for the Cardinals. Might have been Ace Allen.
Stinger's kick.
Now with that,
check at Robbie Sizemore.
That clock chewing up the drive there. North Laurel South has had their hands on it only one time in this third quarter.
They went 3 and out, to start this half. And not a good start here as Harp is taken down by a host of Jaguars.
It's just so tough to get your rhythm going, Tanner, if you're basically over there on the bench. See South going without a huddle here.
2nd and 10. Fultz puts it in the belly of Jared Grubb, and he is dropped for a loss. Justin Brummett got penetration and took Grubb down to set up 3rd and long.
You can certainly see that the North Laurel guys know where number 21 is, Tanner. He is drawing a lot of attention from the white shirts, and football in a game, just difficult to get Grubb in a position in space where he's only got a one-on-one matchup. It's usually 1-on-4. It's pretty much going to wrap up our third quarter.
And it does wrap up the third quarter. North Laurel, a 24-0 lead. We'll see if the Jags can hang on after this word of the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week on this TV and WYMT.com. South Laurel trying to climb back in this game. Cardinals have it down 24-0. Looking to snap a 5-game losing streak to crosstown rival North Laurel. 3rd and long. Fultz firing, caught. and a first down. That's Matt Dalton, the senior, with his first catch of the game, a big gainer down into North Laurel territory.
And they get their first down of this second half, and then, you're able to get this fast-paced offense in rhythm, Tanner. Got to get a couple of first downs to get that rhythm. See Grubb here in the slot. It was great protection by the offensive line. You wonder if maybe you take a shot way downfield here with Grubb.
Another bad snap. Those have plagued the Cardinals all night. Gunnar Whitaker able to fall on it back in South Laurel territory, but another miscommunication between the center and quarterback, Jim.
Yeah, Tanner, that was a
Check it was Sams that made the recovery, but again, just an untimely mistake.
Yeah, I'm really asking Bailey Fultz, the junior quarterback, to do a lot here, and looked like he could have maybe come up with that snap, but sometimes you take your eyes off of it trying to make a big play.
Loss of about 15 yards. It's 2nd and 25, and this pass is incomplete. Grubb tried to chase it down but couldn't get there, and it's 3rd and long.
You tell Fultz is getting some rhythm, Tanner. He's got a nice arm. Basically, North Laurel at this point in the game rushing 4, covering with 7. So going to make it difficult to get somebody wide open.
3rd and about 23. Cards need to get down to the North 30-yard line for a first down. Down the sideline, Matt Dalton couldn't come up with a catch, and it's 4th down.
It's a good play call. Just trying to drop it in the bucket, as they say, and Dalton just unable to run under it, but if he had have been able to hook up, he did have a couple of steps on the defenders, and that might have gone for 6. Looks like they'll kick it away, Tanner.
3-possession game. Cardinals down 24-0.
Now at this particular juncture, Coach Burdine also needs to get some reps for his special teams. Let's remember they haven't been really doing that great a job with the special teams this game, so got to work those things out as well.
Dalton Smith back deep for the Jags. Christensen lays into a high punt. Good bounce for the Cardinals. They'll let it roll down to about the 15-yard line before downing it.
Takes a good South Laurel bounce down to the 16-yard line.
So that South Laurel defense, which has performed pretty well tonight and appeared to be pretty tired on that last drive, surrendering a 12-play scoring drive, makes its way back out onto the field.
I would guess you'll see a few more new fellas get an opportunity here for North Laurel, particularly on the offensive line. The quarterback comes into the huddle there, and they were able to just chew up so much of the clock, Tanner, with their first possession of this second half. And if Coach Chris Larkey could draw it up again, he'd want to chew up another 7 or 8 minutes.
From their own 16, play action. Now McCorder keeps it, cuts back to the middle, now to the outside. McCorder runs for a first down. He got the defense going one way, cut it back the other way, and made them pay.
I saw Cole in our pigskin previews, excited about being here with North Laurel, and boy, Tanner, he comes up a little gimpy there. And you see him trying to shake it off. Sometimes there's a few knocks and pings during the preseason, a little bit of a nagging ankle problem for McWhorter perhaps, and he'll try to shake that off. Get the assistant coaches to you for North Laurel. Jim Black, Bob Dagley, Jason Conley, Larry Welch, P.J. Warren, and Darren McWhorter, father of the quarterback.
First down pitch to Jose Rodriguez. And he's near a first down. Boy, they love that pitch play to him because it lets him get a couple of steps established in the right direction, kind of get ahead of steam, and then attack the defense.
Absolutely. And also with an outstanding quarterback like number 10, Cole McWhorter, if he's going to come up gimpy in a game where you're leading 24-0 in the fourth quarter, you may want to let somebody else carry the football for a while and just let him hand off.
And they'll give him the first down.
I doubt we'll see Cole taking it by himself many times here in this fourth quarter. See all the white shirts over there on the sidelines. Basically stretches from the 130 to the other 30. A lot of those guys want to get in the action, Tanner.
Another first down handoff to Rodriguez.
They come loose.
After a gain of 3, it looked like the ball came out. Our officials in there sorting it out. They're now signaling second down.
Certainly ball security a premium here for North Laurel. But if Coach Chris Larkey could draw it up, Tanner, they would just simply chew up the clock here. No real hurry.
Second and 7, a running clock. Rodriguez again evades the first would-be tackler before he's gang tackled at about the 47. Brings up third down. Penalty flag comes in. This is after the play, so a personal foul is going to be assessed against somebody.
Yeah, certainly in a big rivalry game like this, a lot of times in the pileups, there'll be some wandering hands, shall we say.
That doesn't happen, does it?
Nah.
Dead ball in Sporting. Number 48 for North. Number 34 for South. Offset.
Well, for South, that's Ace Allen, and for North Laurel, Gunnar Jackson, the guilty party.
Yeah, good job by the officials, just trying to calm things down. Referee Mike Ashurst, his guys getting it done.
15th penalty of the night against North.
That's not something Chris Larkey's going to approve of.
Offsetting penalties. Brings up a 3rd and 5 to go.
Well, the down will count, and it's 3rd and 5.
Here for the South Laurel defense.
South Laurel has to have a stop here. North throwing it. Smith, the catch, needs to get by his man, and now they're going to say he didn't catch it. Did not maintain control going to the ground. South Laurel comes up with a stop that it needed. North Laurel will likely punt it away here as you see the moon hang in the sky here in London, Kentucky.
Big full moon means the start of high school football.
Grubb will drop back to field this punt. What is a presumed punt anyway? You wouldn't think North Laurel would fake it right here, although this is the down and distance and area of the field where you could see a fake. But with a 24-0 lead and the way your defense has been playing, I wouldn't see any reason to want to go that route. Unless Hal Mummy's in the building.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's got to be close to delay a game.
Maybe taking that delay of game intentionally to give your punter a little bigger field to work with.
Brooks back to punt.
Brooks's last punt was a boomer, and this one is as well, a spiral punt. Grubb will pick it up, see if he can make something happen. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down at about the 40-yard line. So South Laurel down 3 scores with 8 minutes and some change remaining. They need a score, and they need it in a hurry, Jim.
Yeah, heads-up play by Grubb there, Tanner, but the young man hasn't come off the field this entire game as he plays not just the special teams but offense and defense as well. So across the way, a couple of players down for North Laurel over on the sidelines getting worked on with the cramps, and that will be Jared Grubb's situation here.
We mentioned he plays both ways. Coming into tonight, Donnie Burdine had planned on only using 2 players both ways, Grubb and then Hunter Jones, a lineman. He has the numbers now in his program to where he can actually run platoons, and most guys don't have to play both sides of the ball, and it's something that took a while for the players to adjust to. Donnie Burdine telling me this week that they didn't like it at first. A lot of them liked playing both sides of the ball, but it's an interesting story. Donnie Burdine, a few weeks ago, he gets home, and sitting on his porch are some of his players, including many of his senior leaders. And they said, Coach, we just wanted to apologize. We were wrong. We like the platoon system, and we're really starting to buy into what you're doing.
Okay.
And he said that was a key moment for him in realizing he has the program headed in the right direction.
There you go. There you go. And just got to keep that positive attitude and keep working hard. Seen some teams really come and get better by leaps and bounds. You know, Leslie County a couple years ago had kind of fallen on hard times, and Eddie Melton has those guys in the weight room grinding, and tough ball club.
Foltz stepping up in the pocket and sacked.
Foltz on the keeper.
Hunter Madden dropped him. And going back to the point about Donnie Burdine, he admitted, look, I was new last year too. It was his first season as a head coach, and there were some growing pains for him and that coaching staff, as well as the players adjusting to a new coach.
I always want to look at that difference between the first and second year.
Foltz to throw it, screen pass, nothing doing. Trying to get it to Matt Harp. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and a long 10. Clock stops with about 7.5 minutes remaining. Be good for South Laurel to score to at least try to save some face, maybe feel a little better about yourself, even though you've played North Laurel a lot closer this year than the 2 times you played last year. You don't like looking up at the scoreboard and seeing that goose egg, Jimmy.
That's right, but of course the folks here at South know that North Laurel's got a heck of a ball club. If you could just get some flow to the offense like you had in the latter part of the second quarter.
Foltz launches this one, and he skips it to Ace Allen, incomplete.
Pass by Foltz, incomplete.
Ball might be a little wet. Remember, we had a good rain shower before the game started, and the fog and dew starting to set in here.
Brings up a 4th down.
4th and 10. If he would have been able to complete that one to Allen successfully, I believe he would have had the first down.
Yeah, and I think that's what Coach Burdine and his guys, maybe some of the assistant coaches, encouraging them to go ahead and go for it, but they will punt the ball away.
Donnie Burdine telling us they threw the ball too much last year. This year, they're going to see more of a spread run attack, and we have seen more of that, and they've had some success at times, has South Laurel, but the Cards picking up the delay of game here. They just haven't been able to convert in big times, Jim, and it's really as simple as that. You couldn't ask the defense to play any better than they have. The offense has mounted a few successful drives, but things have just gone awry at the wrong time. Credit North Laurel, too. This offensive and defensive line for the Jags have really stepped up tonight. I don't know who they'll name player of the game, but I would have to think that Matt Sizemore is in strong contention for the Jags. A rushing touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. 24-0 North Laurel with the lead and the ball when we return to the First Priority Bowl. North Laurel looking to salt this game away, up 24-0, 7 minutes and 14 seconds remaining here in the crosstown rivalry with South Laurel in the First Priority Bowl. They're not getting conservative. They're airing it out, and Smith makes the catch near midfield, the big gainer. What do you think about the decision to go to the air there?
It's a rivalry game, so we've got the rivalry till it's zeros on the clock, and Coach Chris Larkey giving his quarterback Cole McWhorter the opportunity to throw it a little bit, and
First down,
he hooks up again with Smith once again.
After this play, we'll take a look at the schedules for these teams the rest of the way. Of course, here in week 0, it's a season opener for both these teams. The coaches don't like playing this game right off the bat. The players and fans like it.
Yep.
You like it right at the beginning.
I love it. I'm totally in Howard Snellenberger's camp on that one.
This is Nick Broughton, the junior. First down run, cousin of the basketball star for North Laurel, Peyton Broughton, who just committed to EKU this week.
Yeah, right.
So as promised, North Laurel after tonight will take on Wayne County. Then you have West Jess, Mason County, at Lincoln, at Harlan County. Start to get into the bulk of that district schedule. Whitley, Letcher, Perry Central, and then we'll close the season out against the Montgomery County Indians.
What you like about that are 3 games at home right after this one. So you get a chance to get those juniors who were sophomores last year. We've just seen junior after junior make big plays, and 3 straight home games will give you a chance to get that offense flowing, get those kids solidly into their junior year.
Well, we call Broughton's name for the first time tonight, and he's a little shaken up. Cramps have been a problem tonight.
Maybe not as much as what you might see early in the year for a lot of guys. Of course, the conditioning always a factor early. We can tell that both of these coaches have done a good job getting their guys hydrated and in condition to play this game. The temperature may be not normally as, particularly humidity-wise, as tough as it's been the last few days here in Kentucky.
Of course, you can catch all the highlights of this game and many others from across the mountains tonight on Sports Overtime on WYMT, starting at around 11:10. Josh McKinney, Jamie McCracken will have all the highlights for you. They're going to throw it again. McWhorter out of the pocket, puts a lot of air under this one, and it's nearly intercepted. Malik Phillips back in coverage. Dalton Smith, the intended target. Okay, so let's take a look at South Laurel's remaining schedule. The Cardinals, after competing tonight in the first Priority Bowl, will head to play Harrison County in the Cumberland Valley Bowl.
Yeah.
At Rock Castle, home versus Middlesboro, at Leslie County, at Whitley, and then 3 district games against Southwestern, Pulaski, and Lincoln. And then closing out the regular season portion of their schedule at home here against the nearby Clay County Tigers.
And what you see there, South Laurel sort of has the home games loaded up for October. So I think a good job by Coach Burdine. He's got his guys at home primarily most of October as they try to gather themselves for a big run at the playoffs.
Dead ball, delay, offense, 5-yard penalty.
And we could see the arm that Cole McWhorter has, Tanner, on that prior play as he put the ball some 50 yards in the air on the rollout.
I mentioned North Laurel has won 5 in a row over South, 4 in a row as part of the first Priority Bowl. The first Priority Bowl back in 2011 was won by South Laurel 39-34. As the flags come in here again.
Dead ball. Encroachment, defense, number 59 enters the neutral zone prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
South Laurel gives those 5 yards right back. Want to remind you that our next broadcast of the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week will come your way next Friday, a doubleheader. East Ridge taking on Phelps, Belfry, then battling Tates Creek. And then on Saturday, Pike Central against Shelby Valley at 6 p.m., followed by Pikeville and Letcher Central as part of the Pike County Bowl. Sizemore on the reverse, rumbling down the sideline, staying on his feet. Down at about the 16-yard line, Jared Lovins made the stop, but not before Matt Sizemore picked up another big gain.
I tell you, see the thighs on that guy. You're going to see the defender come up here and try to hit Sizemore a little high, and he just simply bounces away. Number 22, Matt Sizemore grinds for another North Laurel first down. Another one of these juniors playing for Coach Larkey, and huge junior class, talented junior class, going to do nothing but get better throughout the course of the year.
This is a pitch to Rodriguez. Good blocking. Finds a seam and lowers his shoulder to pick up what appears to be a first down and set up a 1st and goal for North Laurel. Jaguars have 6 on their mind here and not necessarily trying to eat the clock.
Yep. And the defense for South has just been on the field quite a bit. Gave up the score at the end of the first half there to make it 18-0, but as of yet only one score in this second half.
It's Rodriguez, flagged down as he burrows down to about the 2.
Tackled by Austin Eaton.
Been a lot of yellow laundry on the field tonight.
Yeah. And that's something to be expected.
On the offense, number 6, moved prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
We'll see what Coach Chris Larkey decides to draw up here. Rodriguez been pretty tough from that eye position.
1st and goal. It's Rodriguez. Stopped by a couple of Cardinals. Derek Deathridge, one of them, as well as Ace Allen. Clock continues to run. North Laurel closing in on its 6th straight win over South Laurel. And another first priority bowl championship.
So basically South won the first priority bowl, and North has won the rest of them.
That is accurate. In football, as in life, you are correct, Jim Frazier. McCorder fooled everybody. Looking for the corner, finds it, touchdown.
Oh, man.
North Laurel tacks one on here late.
Yeah, McWhorter came up a little gimpy after a run a little bit earlier, so didn't figure that he would actually be the ball carrier for the rest of this game, but you saw the beautiful faking in the backfield. He just puts it on his hip, uses that speed to get to the corner. 6 points for the Jags.
And the 2nd rushing touchdown of the night for McCorder. Remember, he snuck one in earlier.
Alejandro Coria will take the PAT.
Alex Coria will try the point after 2 unsuccessful PATs from Cole Stinger.
Probably
on the defense, half the distance to the go.
We'll get to kick it a little bit closer.
Yeah, I was going to say probably was the center moving the football. You saw the entire defensive front for South Laurel move there. That rarely happens due to cadence on an extra point. Usually the center moves the football and causes that action to occur, but officials see it as a defensive penalty.
Coria's point after try is good. So for the first time tonight, the Jags tack on a point after scoring a touchdown. And they extend their lead to 31-0 over South Laurel here in the first Priority Bowl. You see the Cardinals there feeling a little dejected. They've certainly played a lot tougher against their rivals this year than they have last year, but that North Laurel team, so physical. They've had some timely plays, and Coach Chris Larkey has really had them ready for a tough test here early. Fans, we want to remind you about the Hutch Pigskin Prizes. Are you a high school football expert or just a casual fan? Well, either way, you can test your prediction skills with the WYMT Hutch Chevrolet Buick GMC Pigskin Picks. You may even win prizes. One of the prizes is not dinner with Jim Frazier, unfortunately. Just log on to WYMT.com, click the link for Pigskin Picks, then make your selections. Prizes are awarded weekly. You could win an iPad, a gift card, or even a T-shirt, and in some cases, a signed program from Jim Frazier. Maybe kidding on the latter. Be sure to play Hutch Pigskin Picks only on WYMT.com.
I like the graphics there. Maybe you could get a little YMT helmet there, the football helmet deal. Seems like I've wanted one.
I'll talk to the graphics department about that.
Yeah.
Short kick by Stinger. Fallen upon by a Cardinal. And they'll have 4 minutes and 26 seconds to try to score to get that 0 off the board.
Yeah, you talk about South Laurel, of course. 2 wins in 2014, 2 wins in 2015. I think you'll see them break into the victory column a few more times with quarterback Bailey Fultz calling the signals. But in a game like this, there's not going to be a whole lot of secrets, Tanner, no matter what's going on. And North has been able to thwart the offense here for the Cardinals.
Harp on the carry. Jared Grubb, by the way, is on the sideline for South Laurel, was shaken up a few minutes ago. He is not in there now, and really no reason to have him in there because you will definitely need the contributions from that senior for the rest of the season, and there's no reason to risk injuring him for the long term in a game that is already decided here tonight. 2nd and 9. Play action. Fultz keeping. And he runs for a first down out to midfield.
Fultz on the keeper.
Still going to be some hard hitting going on as you see. North Laurel's 51, Hayden Smith, just a freshman, comes up. They'll make a stop.
Nathan Myers in on the tackle as well.
Maybe a first down, Cardinals.
Fultz keeping again. Nifty move in the backfield to elude a would-be tackler, and he runs all the way down to the North Laurel 35-yard line. Moves the chains. We've talked about the obvious difference in the trenches, Jim. North Laurel's line on both sides of the ball has really taken over this game from the beginning. And coming in, that was South Laurel coach Donnie Burdine's biggest concern. He says, I'm really worried because we're a lot smaller, but our biggest weakness may also be our biggest strength this season because they're a lot quicker than they were last year. Nowhere to go this time for Harp. Wrapped up in the backfield by Tate Sasser. So he has a quicker team that is not going to outsize many opponents this year, but he's banking on the fact that they'll be able to win some battles at the skill positions and run around guys rather than through them.
Yeah, one of the things, we'll get to this comment here after this play. But
2nd and long after the big loss. Little touch pass off the snap. This is Gunnar Whitaker.
I like it.
Still on his feet. Trucks a defender and gets back pretty much all the yards that were lost to set up 3rd and manageable. Fultz took the snap that time and then it was almost like a setup in volleyball. He two-hand touched it to the cutting Whitaker, who took it the rest of the way.
Makes a nice play. But the point I was going to make, Tanner, the great coach Paul Bear Bryant, throughout the 50s, 60s, and the early part of the 70s.
He won a few games.
He had one, and he did it with smaller offensive linemen. He went with smaller guys who he felt had the quickness to make the big plays.
Ball kicks into the helmet. That was the helmet that kicked into the backfield. Thought for a moment it was the football.
Man. And you know, the guy whose helmet flew away was back around the 40-yard line or so. So I'm not sure.
I'd like to see a replay on that. As
it was Hunter Jones.
Hunter Jones, yep, one of the few South Laurel players that plays both ways.
You're going to see the ball go back to about midfield, and then a helmet is going to come flying all the way through in the corner. There it goes. And
helmet corner pocket.
Man, Hunter Jones was a good 15, 20 yards away, so I don't know what caused that helmet to go like that, but it must have been a pretty big hit. Mike Ashurst and his guys will talk about things, and what you would hate to see here, Tanner, is a disqualification with 2 minutes to play in the ball game, because that's going to cost a young man next week as well.
I didn't see the reason for the helmet flying. Obviously, we were watching the football and following that, and so were our cameras.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a high school helmet fly like that. I mean, that went a good 15, 20 yards, but perhaps the young man didn't have his.
We got a live ball, personal foul, number 56 for the defense. Personal foul. We're going to tack it on the end of the run. We're going to repeat third down.
Zach Bowling called for the penalty.
Probably going to have something to do with that helmet, but fortunate for everybody involved that there's no disqualification. We've seen one of those here this evening. Kids have played hard, but clean. That's what you always want to see in a big rivalry game like this.
Clock inside 2 minutes, 3rd and 10 for South Laurel. Still time for them to get that goose egg off the scoreboard. And a pass complete for a first down to Ace Allen. Ace finds the hole and takes it down to about the 15.
You know, Tanner, you gave the story about how some of the leadership from South Laurel had gone to Coach Burdine's house to say, okay, we're behind you, Coach. A touchdown here seems like a little deal, 31-6, 31-7, 31-8, but boy, I think it would mean a lot to these upperclassmen and to Coach Burdine to push something across here to build on for next week.
You don't want to be shut out by your rival, that's for sure. Foltz, quarterback keeper, up the middle. Scrounges out a few yards. We've seen Foltz run it a lot more tonight. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, ran it 48 times last year, minus 1 yard. Of course, you have the sacks that come out of that and all the negative yardage like tonight, those bad snaps that he's had to go back and field, fall upon several times. Harp in the backfield with Foltz here on 2nd down and about 7.
See if they can find one of these patterns over the middle for a touchdown.
They fake it to Harp, and then Foltz keeping and not going very far at all as the clock is under a minute.
Short game.
And a timeout on the field taken by South Laurel. Cards with 1 timeout remaining now. Coach Burdine trying to rally the troops for a score here to save some face.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about it, Tanner. You didn't want to see the goose egg in a big rivalry game like this. And so Coach Burdine going to gather his troops with him. And Coach Larkey and his guys got some new shirts in there, but see some of the fellas that are going to be making an impact throughout the year. Big number 76, Bascom Bailey, 72, Hunter Madden. Those guys are not going to come off the field much for Coach Larkey. Looks like they've had some guys get open over the middle against this defense, a couple of new defensive backs in there. course, you can always try the fade to the corner of the end zone here.
They've had some receivers get behind the defense a couple of times, but Fultz has just been unable to connect with them.
I don't see Grubb in the game. So, of course, he would be a primary target were he in the game. Had a little cramp problem, so he's on the sidelines.
3rd and 6. Fultz lofting it to the corner of the end zone, incomplete. Double coverage that time as he was trying to get it to Ace Allen. Brings up 4th down.
Sometimes you try a play like that, Tanner, then you're going to try to line up almost in exactly the same way, look like it's the same type of call, then have that young man cut to the inside